We're Chris and Sandra. We started America's Great Loop in July of 2023, but it all started in 2022 when we bought a boat we named Thataway. On a foggy May morning last year, we said goodbye to Port Dover and headed down Lake Erie through the Welland Canal and onto Lake Ontario. We had a summer of fun boat projects and explored Lake Ontario and the famous Canadian heritage canal system, the Trent Severn Waterway. We spent the spring of 2023 overhauling the galley of Thataway, and we took off in July, even though we have lots more to do. Join two not-so-young kids as we make our way around the 6,000-mile loop of North American waters. Are you going up or not?
I think so.
So you're going to stay up there until we get out of the canal?
Yeah, see what it looks like. And
the radio's on.
Yeah, I'm just gonna turn off a few lights here.
Everything on there. Right. So it's just lines. You're gonna check you'll check the bow thrusters when you get up there?
Yeah.
It's going to take you a while to
Yeah.
So it's Tuesday morning and we're leaving Ocean Reef Marina near Freeport. It's supposed to be a pretty good couple of days for wind and waves. We're headed ultimately to the Abacos, but tonight we're going to stay at Great Sail Key, an island in between. And so we're leaving this area, but we're going to cut through the island, through the Grand Bahama Island. It's a pretty big island and there's a canal that goes through it. I think it's called the Grand Lucayan Canal, but it was created when there was a lot of development going on, but then everything kind of screeched to a halt, and it's pretty much been abandoned. We've heard some rumors that there's going to be a Disneyland resort built there, but the one thing that we've learned about being on this island is that rumors abound. We're going to cut through this canal. It's a pretty good depth. We're going to go at a rising tide. The tide's coming up. So the actual canal itself is a pretty good depth. The north end of it apparently can get really shallow. So it's good that we're coming in at a rising tide. There's at least one bridge, but it's 27 feet at high water, and we're 22 and a bit, so we should be just fine. We're just coming out to the main part of the water, the sea, and then we're going to hang left.
It's been a long, hard season. I'm feeling weary to my bones. I guess that's my reason. I've packed my bags and now I'm gone. Somewhere between the sun and the deep blue sea. That's where you find me. Tender red, flat out on the beach.
There's something on the left. I'm not sure if it's a boat or...
So we left Ocean Reach Yacht Club this morning, and we're on our way to Great Sail Key. Right now we're going through the, I think it's called the Grand Bahama Canal. And I guess it's a development that never really took off. They put this in a number of decades ago, and there's lots of offshoots. There's a few houses, and actually there's more development over there. There are some houses being developed, but by and large, this place, it's just empty. Anyway, this morning was a bit bumpy. The wind-driven waves and the swell were going in slightly different directions. So you could see a little bit of, it wasn't a real washing machine, but the waves were kind of moving around a bit this morning.
Half of them, you don't really know what they are. So between them, it makes sense, right? Because everything's rocky on the left.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure about the next ones. Are we supposed to be on the left or the right of it?
We're supposed to be on the left of them.
Okay.
They've just put reflective tape on them that's red.
I know. There is some sort of buoy over there and ahead of us to the left, like way ahead. I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, I can't see it. I'm not too worried about it right now.
Okay.
Well, I think the shoaling on the right is there too. We're in 4 feet of water now. Well, that would be about 6 feet.
The sea looks much calmer on the side
Yeah,
than it did this morning.
yeah. There's almost no wave action.
So it's all good. This is great weather for me to get used to not being able to see land. And we may stay at Great Sail Key for an extra day.
So
Okay.
9.
Ready? Because you're almost stopped.
Yeah, go ahead.
Five. 75 is in the water. Okay, green. So 100 is at the pulp.
Is it?
The power boat that just came into Great Sail Key from Toronto, this is sailing vessel Moya Maria. Can you come back to me?
Do you see anything going on over there on the right?
No.
Does it feel like it's holding?
Yeah, it's pretty tight.
Okay, so we're good.
I think so, yeah. We're going to let it sit here for a minute, right? You're going to turn it off? Good morning from Great Sail Key. Beautiful sunrise. We have a few neighbors. One of them is leaving, I think trying to get to West End
and then cross tomorrow over to Florida. That's the one way over there leaving. Bye-bye. We had a pretty good night. It was pretty restful here. There's a little bit of wind, but it's supposed to be pretty light today. We thought about maybe staying here another day and just relaxing, but we have a good weather day today. An okay one on Thursday, probably pretty good. But then Friday it gets a little sportier everywhere. So we thought because we could make this a short day that we would just carry on and find an anchorage maybe near Foxtown. And because we're not really sure what the barrier islands along the Abacos actually has, what effect it has on protecting and the wave reports, that we would scoot over to Foxtown today, and if it looked pretty good around there, we would just kind of nose out into the channel between the Barrier Islands and the Abacos Islands. And if it looked pretty good, we would just keep going for another couple hours and find an anchorage down there for the night. And then continue on Thursday to maybe Green Turtle Bay or Treasure Cay. Anyway, so we are taking a bit of time this morning to do a few things. Chris is working on his computer, doing something for a client, a holdover client from way back. And I've been putzing around. I haven't really felt like editing this morning because it's so beautiful out here. But we need to tighten some bolts up on the dinghy davits. It was making a little bit of noise last night, so better to do it now. And yeah, so we're feeling pretty good about things. I'm feeling pretty good about things. And looking forward to getting to see some of the sights at Green Turtle Bay and Treasure Cay. There we go.
Headlights on the highway. If you only knew, being back here always makes me think of.
So we decided to bypass Foxtown. When we left this morning, we decided that our minimum goal would be Foxtown, the anchorage at Foxtown, because we knew the waves that were predicted were manageable, more than manageable. But we decided our plan B was that if things looked good when we got to that anchorage, that we would carry on to the second anchorage. We're about an hour and 15 minutes from the anchorage, and as far as I can see, I mean, it looks about the same, so I'm not really expecting that we're going to magically turn a corner and we're going to be thrown about or anything. It's been a really, really nice day. One of those really boring days, but I'll take those any day. So once we get in and anchored, we'll see what it looks like. Okay, I agree. Here are our neighbors. One neighbor. And more neighbors.
Anchored after a really nice cruising day. Very sunny, very little to no waves, and when we did have waves, there was a really long period, so just swells, and no more than a foot, I would say. And so really good day. We're here now, it's about 3 o'clock. Have been noticing a few issues with the boat. I messed around with the autopilot, trying to get it hooked up to my NEMA 2K network, and that didn't work well, and it also looks like I've done something to the autopilot. It's an old autopilot. It's not like I wasn't expecting this, but I kind of would have preferred not to have done that to it. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do about the autopilot. I've got to do something about that. The alternator wasn't putting out a lot of amperage at the end of the day. I suspect that's because of the settings in the controller. Again, just another thing to look at and make sure everything's okay. But great cruising day, and yeah, we're here.
What are you going to do? What's the first thing you're going to do?
Maybe go for a swim.
So we have a solar shower and I've taken to filling it up at night, and then during the day it heats up, and then Chris and I both have a shower. It actually gets super, super, super hot. I have to add a little bit of cold water to it. It's 4 gallons, and this is more than enough for 2 showers. There's always a little bit left over. Today there wasn't because some leaked out overnight last night. So I'm going to leave some room for cold water once this heats up. This is the solar shower we took on backpacking, mostly paddling trips. I have smaller ones for backpacking trips. Out it goes. This was spray from yesterday morning when we left Freeport, and all salty water.
We were young and we were free and running, never bothered about what could be coming. Every day we danced and life was smiling. We were young and drunk in love. A few years later I have started thinking, if it's just love in every glass I'm drinking, we're like one and without you I'm sinking. I'm always shining next to you. Oh, I got you, there's no reason to chasing pavement on my own, 'cause you're here to stay every night and day. I'm delighted 'cause I got you.
Another beautiful sunny day cruising down the Abacos Islands, and a lot of traffic today. I've spent the morning trying to figure out various things doing with power generation. So when I was in Florida, I installed a higher output alternator. It's called a high output alternator because it puts out 100 amps. But it's the smallest of the high output alternators, and it's still a small case alternator. And yesterday I noticed that the alternator wasn't doing anything at the end of the day when I was charging up the battery. So this morning I turned it on and monitored it, and for the first 45 minutes it did fine, and it put about 2-3% into the battery pretty quickly. But then it cut out. So I think what's going on is it's running at full output, and the temperature sensors are obviously detecting that the alternator is getting hot, so then it's cutting its output. So that's a bit disappointing, but not totally unexpected. And I think what I've got to do is the controller for the alternator, I forget what its name is, but it's a Balmar product, allows you to set the maximum output on the alternator, and I'm going to have to play with that, and hopefully it'll let me set it based on temperature, and I can do something like high output when it's cold, and then slow it down dramatically when it starts to warm up. Anyway, we'll see. I've got to play with that. The other thing that I did was I just replaced 2 of my solar panels, and I was looking at them as I replaced them, and some pretty obvious damage on the 2 panels that I decided to replace. They've both been, the magnets let go and the panels were flapping in the wind, and one of them had cracks in it, and the other one had obvious surface damage. So I kept one of my panels, replaced 2, and then what I did is I added a 4th. So now, instead of generating about 66 volts in good sun, I'm generating closer to 80 something, because now I've got 4 panels instead of 3 panels. Current stays the same, but what it seems to be doing is earlier in the day I'm getting more charge. So today, not even an hour into this trip, it's 9:30. It looks like I've exceeded my solar collection for all of yesterday. So that's significant, and obviously it's a combination of the damaged panels and the fact that I've now got a 4th in series. I'm hoping that the 4th panel gives me more of the day to collect solar, because I think what was happening is because I only had 3 panels, and that meant that in full sun they might have been hitting around mid-60s voltage. At the beginning and the end of the day, they would drop off and there wouldn't be enough to convert and get the 54 or 55 volts that that the MPPT controller obviously needs to charge. So I'm happy about that. Got some work to do with the alternator, unfortunately. Short cruise today. We're just going to Treasure Cay. We'll see what it's like. Apparently it was flattened in the storms, Dorian, and there hasn't been a lot of rebuilding work.
Our 3-day trip from Freeport to Treasure Cay allowed us to test the new panels. We are hoping to anchor out a lot more, and solar power is the key to doing this. In the next few weeks, we will explore the rest of the Abaco Islands, which were among the hardest hit by Hurricane Dorian. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel, and if you enjoyed this episode, please share it with others. Thanks to our Ko-fi supporters. Your assistance is getting us closer to purchasing new video and audio equipment. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.